And it was the longest hostage situation in all of Brazilian history. Because, to be honest, let's just call it what it is, right? The police, they were dropping the ball left and right. They were letting reporters get in the way. They were letting Lindenberg set all the terms, call the shots, bring the hostages back in. It was a disaster. That's 4 days of these two girls not knowing if they were going to survive to see another day. 4 days of their families waiting for good news, hopeful for good news, yet getting nothing but these updates about how great and how romantic Lindenberg is and how, they hope this ends with a wedding. It is unbelievable. Now, as all hostage situations go, they come to an end, right? So eventually this hostage situation needed to come to an end. And on October 17th, in the late afternoon or early evening, gunshots were reported from inside the apartment. Today's episode is also sponsored by Chime. Do you know those moments? I know I used to have them all the time when you're trying to get ahead financially, but there's, between overdraft fees, late payments, or just like the chaos of daily life, it feels like you're always a step behind. For me, it was also interest payments. I've definitely been there, but that's where Chime is really stepping in and changing things up for people. They get that every single dollar counts. And when you set up direct deposit through Chime, you get access to awesome features like getting paid up to 2 days early, no monthly fees, no maintenance fees. Plus, with qualifying direct deposits, you can even get fee-free overdraft coverage for up to $200 on debit card purchases and withdrawals. And here's the best part. Chime has over 47,000 fee-free ATMs, which is actually more than the top 3 national banks combined. So it just makes everything easier. Work on your financial goals through Chime today. Open an account in just 2 minutes at chime.com/serialously. That's chime.com/serialously. Chime. Feels like progress.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Spot and eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. Bank ranking and number of ATMs according to U.S. News and World Report 2023. Chime checking account required.
Now, the timing of these gunshots were very controversial. It's still controversial to this day. And that's because the official reports that the police gave did not match what the witnesses saw, including witnesses that were the reporters and the people watching their broadcast from at home. According to the police, they heard gunshots inside the apartment and they realized that the situation had escalated. So they broke into the apartment and tried to save the hostages. However, the news cameras filmed something that was kind of the other way around. First, the police broke down the door, a process that was slow, very noisy, very loud, and then the gunshots went off. Almost like perhaps Lindenberg realized that they were forcing themselves inside and then fired his gun in a panic. And if the second situation is true, which it does match the video footage, it suggests that the police are the ones who escalated the situation and put these two girls' lives in danger for no good reason, which may be why the police still insist on their version of the story and still say that they did not break down the door until Lindenberg started firing. Because, of course, they don't want to be blamed for what happened next. Whatever the truth is, I do know that the police set off a small explosive outside the apartment door to blow it open. It went off, and then, supposedly, you can hear some gunshots afterward. And I'm going to play a short little clip for you here, but the gunshots are very, very quiet. I had to listen a bunch of times before I was able to hear anything at all, so you may need to rewind it a couple times, but let me just play this for you.
A libertação das duas reféns, das duas adolescentes, e a entrega, barulho lá no local.
Aconteceu disparo, Percival.
Barulho, exatamente, um barulho de disparo. Houve um disparo lá dentro.
Aconteceu.
When the police finally got inside, they found Lindenberg unharmed, but they found the two girls had both been shot. Nayara had also been hit in the face, but luckily it wasn't bad enough to knock her unconscious. She was able to walk out of the apartment on her own, miraculously, and then the police were able to help her get away from the scene and, get to safety, permanently this time. But Eloa, she had taken 2 bullets, one to her groin area and one to the head. While she was being rushed to the hospital, the police were focusing on bringing Lindenberg into custody.